Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Waggin Train of Thought. I'm Dr. Scott Broussard, and today's topic, we're going to be discussing allergies. I personally look at allergies in three different categories. We have food allergies, we have flea allergies, and we have environmental allergies. That's the one that gets a little bit sticky because there's so many things that they can be allergic to, but we'll get to that. So let's start at the top. Food allergies. Usually in my experience, it's to the protein that's in the foods that they're eating that triggers the allergic response. Your average dog food, most of them contain chicken as the primary ingredient. I'm not blaming chicken as the cause for all food allergies, but it is common and commonly used. If your dog is allergic to food, you will want to switch to a different protein source. There's lamb and rice, duck and potato, kangaroo and oats, fish and chips. There's all kinds of different things that you can offer, not fish and chips literally, but there are fish and umpteen different things. You can switch those up, but if you really want to play hardball, what I do is I use and recommend Hill's ZD. Free plug for Hill's on this one because I really love this food. It contains synthetic proteins. Why is that important? Because they're incredibly small. Usually it's the size of the protein molecule that enables allergic reaction to be elicited. And these guys are so small that they cannot do such a thing. So in theory, a dog that is reacting to a protein molecule should not or will not react to the proteins that are in ZD. Moving on. Next thing would be flea allergies. Pretty self-explanatory there. What happens is, understand, it's not just that any dog that has fleas is allergic to them. No more than, look, I don't like getting bit by fleas and I'm probably going to scratch and get little red bumps. But a dog that's truly allergic is going to come in usually with this area. In fact, there was a song, if a dog walks in with an itty bitty waist and a bald patch on your, never mind. That's a different song, sorry. But flea allergies normally come in with a big bald patch on their lower back and maybe the backs of their thighs, something like that. Pretty classic pattern. When they walk in with that, before I even start examining the dog, I'm looking for a flea because it's that common and that consistent with what it affects. Point of the story being this, if they're not on routine flea prevention and good flea prevention, you're going to be fighting that battle all the time, especially in the spring and summer when fleas are so common. What do? See last week's video. Some of the preventatives we use, whether it's the topical ones or like Brevecto I have here, you want something that's going to provide good, round-the-clock flea prevention, and this is some of the best things that money can buy right now. So, third and final thing is environmental allergies, and that's where it gets a little bit hairy. They can be allergic to anything under the sun, quite literally the same as you and I. It can be dust, it can be pollen, it can be molds, it can be grasses, it can be you name it, and they can be allergic to it. How do we address it? Some people want to go the whole 9 yards and do allergy testing, and I'm all for it. There are two ways you can allergy test a dog. One, you can pull blood and run serum allergy testing. Number two is you can do intradermal allergy testing. That's a little bit more invasive because the dog has to be under general anesthetic and a dermatologist has to do that when they inject the allergens under the skin, measure how much the dog reacts to them. And so whichever way you choose to go, what they do with that information is then turn around and make a vaccine that contains the top 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever ingredients that dog's allergic to. They make vaccines that create or that contain those ingredients. Once that's done, now you have to start giving allergy injections anywhere from weekly to monthly. It's a long process, it's a little bit of a pricey process, but it's the only way that you can try to get to the actual root of that dog's allergic problem. More on that later perhaps. What most people do is just make my dog stop itching. How do we do that? Well, for 1,000 years it's been steroids, and steroids still work. I'm not telling you that's the way to go, but they will stop your dog from itching. They don't tell you what they're itching from, but it will make the problem better. It is not my first choice anymore for the two products I'm about to tell you about. If you have not used or heard of these, well, you will right now, and they are fantastic. Apoquel is is an oral medication that you can give twice a day for the first 2 weeks and then once a day after that. But this is the newest therapy. This is what's called monoclonal antibody therapy. Yes, it's a mouthful, but here's the deal. When you are allergic to something, your body sends messengers to your brain to say, hey, you got to start itching. This product is antibodies against those chemical messengers. It blocks what's called interleukins, so they can't send their message. I hold in my hand a little tiny vial of Cytopoint. Cytopoint is in the same family as Apoquel, it's just more pinpoint, hence maybe the name, Cytopoint. The difference being Cytopoint works only for environmental allergies, and that interleukin, Apoquel, covers all allergic causes of itching, including food, fleas, or environmental. That's about it. I'm not going to go too much deeper because we'll be here for a half hour if I continue going. If you have any questions, ask them below. And thank you for tuning in. I'll look forward to talking to you guys next week. Take care.